You know, one of the big advantages of business is there are people who've gone before you, people who've already made a huge success. So you've got someone to model, someone to copy, someone to go and look at and see how well they do things. Well, some of you have heard of this organisation, I'm sure. I'm just going to mention it and see if you know the name. The name is Disney. Who's heard of Disney? I'm sure most of you have heard of Disney. Everyone's heard of Disney. And then maybe some of you have even been to Disneyland. Well, I've got to tell you, I went to Disney some years ago. And I had the good fortune at the time to meet a lady who'd done all of the image consultancy for Disneyland. It was a pretty impressive time I spent with her, and she explained a lot of things to me about the psychology of Disney, how they make things work. You know, the happiest place in the world, I think is what they call themselves. But I want to explain one of the little strategies they've used that you may not be aware of. When Walt Disney was alive, he talked about what was picture perfect, was what he talked about. He wanted Disneyland to be picture perfect. Not a bad idea, is it? I wonder if your business is picture perfect. And what they actually did when they built Disneyland, they actually have a sub-level. So you walk around Disneyland and you can see I'm a great artist, obviously, but you know, here are the rides and here are all the teacups and everything else that goes on up here. But underneath that ground level is another whole city. And down there is the largest theatrical wardrobe in the world. People actually drive electric carts around. They've got their own university. The list goes on. It's absolutely huge and massive. And you can actually travel from this side of Disneyland across here and come up on the other side of Disneyland. Now, as you're aware, would be aware, I'm sure if you've been there, it is pretty much picture perfect. And Disneyland operates with such integrity, it's just amazing. So when you have a look at it, you start to meet Mickey Mouse, you get to meet Donald, whoever it may be, in the streets up here, in the streets in Disneyland. They will never break character. They are totally in character. Interesting thing to think about. They are in character. Are you in character when you're on the job? Interesting thing to think about. So in character is what they are. Down here they can be their real selves. The moment they come up here they've got to be in character. And they have some real strict rules about that. Now training. Who do you think gets the training over there? Well, of course Mickey Mouse does, and many of the people who play those roles. But they're not the only ones. Guess who else gets a lot of training? Might surprise you, but the guys sweeping the streets. Because what they've learned is that more people go and ask them the questions about where to go than they do going to the information centre. So those guys have to be on the ball. Some might say, well, they don't need any training, they're sweeping the streets. No, they're interacting with people and they need the top level skills. And they get it. And they're trained over and over again. Now, as Mickey and Minnie are in character, they also have to have what is termed an on-stage mentality. That means they go on stage. Imagine you're in a minor production somewhere in Brisbane, wherever it may be. Somewhere in the world you go and do a minor production. And you're on stage. When you're on stage, you're what? In character. What about in your business? When you're on stage in your business, are you in character? Or are you bringing out some of the attributes you have that you'd prefer not to? So some things here to think about. Critical factor. So Disney went to the extent of making sure everything up here was picture perfect and that the people were perfect. That it all worked brilliantly. And if you've been to Disneyland, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it, you've witnessed it. It's fantastic. They do a brilliant, brilliant job at it. Are you doing a brilliant, brilliant job? Are you in character? Are your people in character? Do you have an on-stage mentality, and do your people have an on-stage mentality? So it's an important factor for you to consider. An on-stage mentality, being in character, is going to make a huge difference to you maintaining the right focus when you're dealing with people and running your business and aiming to be highly successful. Thank you. So these are critical points, but I want to just look here. I just looked and realised I haven't spelled this correctly. It reminds me of one of my favourite quotes. It's from a guy called Mark Twain. If you don't know who he is, Google him, look him up. But Mark Twain said this: it's a person of little imagination can only think of one way to spell a word. Throw it in your library, it might work for you too. Thank you.